Hey everybody, XDesign 101 here, and finally, since the update has rolled around not long ago, I was just a little busy with my own project. But what's happening now is we're coming back to the Photon Blox YouTube tutorial to continue off. First few things I want to do is just smooth over the project. For one, our idle and walk to idle bridge animations. If you didn't know this already, you should always uncheck has exit time. I remember in the last video I didn't mention this, so basically it was going to wait for the idle to finish and then the walk would start, which would cause you to slide and then start walking, which doesn't look very pretty. So you always just want to make sure that the animation switches immediately as soon as the speed is greater than 0.1 and back when it's less than. So that's all that needs. Beforehand, I was using a UI system here. It was all white, so basically if you're still using an all white UI system because you're not quite sure what you should be doing, first things first, on your main panel there should be an image. You just gotta give it the UI sprite down here in the corner. Give it a color. It helps out. That gives you a really basic kind of design, right? If you don't want to use colors at all, you could actually go ahead and use other types of sprites, or you could go ahead and use just full-on pictures that you designed in Photoshop or something, you know what I mean, for your stuff. It's really up to you. You would do that for your buttons and everything. So far, for demo purposes, I'm just using the UI sprite stuff for everything. Everything will have an image with a color and a UI sprite to set that you physically see. So in this case, it would be the background and the two buttons. That's pretty much all I had to do. At least now you can see it. So to show you where we last left off, we could just press play. As you can see, it just logs us right in. I did change the name beforehand as well. You just go into the header text and boom. This is obviously not showing because I didn't set a color to change, but okay. It doesn't matter right now. So I don't have any skills that are setting up here, so that means we're getting to that. It's the Braincloud portal. But first, we'll continue. So we press play, we log in, our character jams here. We zoom out, and he's just walking around pretty nicely when I click around. I don't think this is properly baked into the nav mesh or anything, but well, I guess it would be. It's not an obstacle, so makes sense. You know, player has to kind of navigate yourself, right? If I figure something out to make that do that better, to be honest, let me check the player, see if we're using the nav mesh or not. Oh, are we not using? No, we are not. So that's why we're not using the nav mesh agent. Haha. Move to scene 1. I can check the navigation here. This has been baked, but when I built my player, top-down camera, where's character controller? Player top-down controller. Yeah, I'm not using the navigation one, so why even have a baked-in nav is beyond me, but go ahead and replace that with the top-down nav controller. If you want to find it manually, just go to Plygame, character, player, top-down nav controller. Set this all, make sure it's, you know, okay. Most of it should be fine. There you go. Alright. Now this cube would need to be baked as not walkable into the floor. Sorry, my nose is like really stuffed. guess it's that springtime rolling in, you know what I'm saying? Oh man. Oh crap. Toggle that. Oh damn it. Did I really put this password in there? I did too. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, so now if I was to zoom out and click here, as you can see, he like now dodges obstacles like that. The Unity built-in nav system, its navigation for NPCs actually really sucks. So you'll notice that when we get later into the tutorials and when you have lots of monsters, they'll start walking into each other or something, or if you stand there, they'll walk into you. It's like they don't really calculate like properly, and you can't exactly put nav mesh obstacles on them all, because then they'll start sketching all over the place. So around that point in time, I'll explain something that makes it a little better than what it is. Alright, so right now all you have to do is open up your window tab up here. We're going to go down to Braincloud and we want to launch Portal. It'll open up your browser. Just go ahead full screen that. I'm just going to log into my account, so log into yours. For example of what we're going to be doing, I'm going to show you one of my current game setups, or one. So if you would be using yours, this is the one we're working on. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to show you some of the differences. So let's go to my Mythic Islands one here. So when you open up or create your first, hold on creating for a second, you know what I mean? But like, you have a couple things. You have gamification, so XP levels, basically the level and the experience the player needs to be that level. There is achievements. You could trigger achievements from in-game with a command, with a block, I should say, that we'll get to later. But you could also add achievements here, so when you get to the level, you get like first level, you know what I mean, and then there's more from there, you know what I mean. You'll be able to maybe trigger events to give your character items or something when you unlock achievements. Milestones isn't working. We don't use quests because that's something we use in game. So basically in gamification, it's just really XP levels and achievements. This is only one save system. I believe the creator of Photon Blox mentioned something about getting game sparks and other save systems. So he separated the Braincloud Blox from the thing, and it's going to be a separate package on the asset store. I guess we'll have to check to see if it's been uploaded or not. If so, it's for you guys to download if you already have Photon Blox. I believe it's only $5, and if you don't own Photon Blox, then I believe it's 10. I don't know. He was just telling me about it because I was asking, and one person, you could have the old version and you'll have the old Braincloud Blox, which means you won't have some of the new features that I would have in this current that are segregated mainly towards Braincloud. So everything else will be the same, but like in this portion I'll have a few things like an auto save feature and stuff that's kind of built in. Once it's uploaded, you can get it too, and good to go. We'll continue now, so we can close down gamification. Okay, no, Jesus. We have static rules. This would be our user statistics. So basically this is what's going to show when like your values. So basically when you save the game, it's going to save any stats that match the name of the stat that's in this user statistic. And if I recall correctly, that is all that is used. Oh no, well, leaderboards as well. You have a leaderboard configuration, so you can do like boss kills, monster kills, and in my new game, which is the RuneScape private server for Android, you would have player kills. So this way, you know, you can keep track of who's the best in the game, you know what I mean? So it'd be pretty awesome. uh, So if you go to email authentication here, you're able to actually set up how your email authentication would look when it goes to people. So this way they could play the game right away, but eventually they'd probably want to authenticate, because you never know. Maybe I've never had an account delete by not authenticating it, so but you could force like the need for authentication in here. So like reject unverified email logins, you know what I mean? So it means you won't be able to log into the game if the email is not verified. I don't have that on right now, but in a later release you would want that to be on. It's also a good way to have people follow you, so you can send them grap or news about your game or whatever. Alright, so in the core app info, this is where most of your stuff is here. So advanced settings, you know what I mean, blah blah blah. Your platforms, so you pick your platform. So I have Apple iOS, I have Google Android, and I have Windows. I will actually activate web as well. Actually, not for this game. In my other one I'll activate web. Never mind. But you'll just make sure, because you have to have them selected, the operating systems you're going to be using, or platforms I should say. Your admin tools here is pretty important. You can delete your testers, delete users, delete both. Don't mess with your dynamic data application, whatever. Yeah, don't delete that. So let's just go ahead and go to team here. No, okay, I'm going to switch over to my Photon Blox tutorial. So we have the app here. You could just click add app, and you have your app ID, everything like that. So you've already had to do this basically with our beginning setup to our tutorial, just to kind of get you to log in and everything. Even though it's not really saving much data to Braincloud, it's still saving for you online for the most part, so that you can log in and remember your position, yada yada. But now you know, we want to go through to our gamification. You know, we'll put in our levels, so we'll just add item, level 1, minimum points would be 1. Status title, level 1, or just I guess 1. Given an achievement, you won't really need a, if you have Facebook connection with here, then you could do Facebook actions. I guess that's if you're making this game for Facebook, but we're not. So a status title, that's new. You don't need it. You could add virtual currency. You can, you know, user statistics in case you wanted to select a statistic and add to it. But this is your main level. So level, minimum points, we'll save it there. Please select an item in the list. Oh, level, experience. Oh, whoops. Okay, so this would be the experience required. So let's say 150, and that'll be level 1. Well, actually, if you have 1 XP, you're level 1. That would make sense. Add level 2, which would be 260 maybe, I guess, and so on and so on. Here's each of your levels. You could have status titles. This way you know what's happening. Virtual currency. I don't know if you can actually get that information back. I've never tried that yet, but you could do like stats and achievements, like I was saying. Now, we could add an achievement. We could apparently register achievements with Facebook. Okay, that's again a new feature. See, they're updating all the time. So achievement ID level, or you reached level 2. Or well, I guess that's achievement ID 1. Title, reach level 2. You've reached gain this achievement. There we go. And bam, that's pretty much all we need. So achievement ID would be 1. You could give it a legit name if you really wanted to. Delete the achievement and add a new one if you want to replace it, else you know it's gonna be there. So now we're gonna go into our static rules, and this is where, like I was saying, all your main statistics are gonna be. So attack, like skills, like attack, anything that's pretty much an attribute's going in here. Yeah, that's the best word to say. So we'll start off with, so you could do health if you wanted to. It's going to be type long, category. You don't got any categories, you didn't make one. Our minimum value is 1 initial value. Actually, keep these at 0. At least that's how I find it works best. And then give it its maximum value, which in my game might be like this. And then you want the merge action to take primary. So yeah, you can set these to 1, merge action, take primary, meaning when the new value changes, it's gonna swap over. So if that's health, then maybe it's gonna be like 50 is the initial value. Minimum value should be 1. So let's say you log out of the game with 1 health, but the initial value, I guess, would be the starting amount of health. In my other game, I just have them both set to 0, but it doesn't really matter. You can give a description or not, just, you know, boom. Now you'd put like attack, long, start this off at 1 is the initial value, and 99. Health, attack, yada yada. So now you have your basic setup for Braincloud. So if you have these exact named attributes, when you save the game, which unless you have the new Braincloud Blox, it's not gonna function the same way. Did I update it here? Let's see here. Input definition, no, loading and saving. Now see, yours is gonna look like this, where in my other game where my Braincloud Blox is like updated, it's not gonna look like this. It's gonna have a few options here for some auto saving. I do have an example auto block save for people on that I will put in the description of this video. It's not here in this project, it's in another project here. Let me go rush on over and grab it. I believe it's in here. Photon Blox saving, copy. And paste. Photon Blox saving. And it's pretty much just an autosave block here. you have an autosave timer, 120 seconds. It's going to have first save, so when you first log in, its first save does it in a specific way, and its second save does it in another way to ensure that it saves the proper values. So on updates, pretty much what's happening with the save. On state enter, you want to set self to don't destroy on load. This is all going to be like this. I'm just kind of showing you an example. Here's your logout. So basically when you press the logout button, you're going to want to call logout on the autosave prefab here, and then this is going to log you out. So first save, basically save game, this is the Plygame save. Reset player stats is part of Braincloud. Reset player stats. We have increment experience points, so we can increment experience points here, and then we have our if statement and else to basically add to a dictionary. If first save in auto save, you know, as Plyblox equals, so there's first save. If it equals false, then basically that means it hasn't done its first save, so we're going to want to remove from dictionary attributes key attack. Then we're going to re-add the attribute attack with the new value, and that's first save false. So and if first save is true, then obviously the attribute attack is not living in the dictionary, so we don't need to remove from the dictionary. That's going to do that for all of them. All you have to do is just kind of go through and change the name of these values. So you would just duplicate this little if and else multiple times, changing the values from, let's say, attack. So we have attack, and then the next one we would make sure that all these attacks say health, like this one all say strength, and then this one all says range, magic, defense. And then at the very end we're going to increment player stats from dictionary attribute. So increment player stats right here in the player statistics servers. Sorry, my nose is like killing me. It's hard to breathe. And after that you can now post score to Leaderboard, which is again pretty simple. You would just have a attribute that you're posting the score to. So in game, when you kill a monster or a player, all you have to do is just change their attribute player kills or boss kills and post score to Leaderboard ID, and then that would be the ID you gave it. So player underscore kills, which was one of them, and boss kills was my other one. I believe this was the save I was using in my RSPS. And then at the very end here you would use the exit game, which exit game here calls to disconnect from Braincloud, log out, Photon, log out from Braincloud, and exit the game. Good to go. Your on update does pretty much the same thing for saving purposes, so you'd come here and make the similar changes. The only difference is this is happening on a timer. Alright, so now you guys know how to save without the updated version of Braincloud Blox. Here, let me show you in the project pane here what I'm talking about. We open up Ninjutsu Games, we have Braincloud Blox. Yeah, I'm highlighting this. This one's outdated compared to the one that's in my other project, but that's just because I've been testing and making sure that it works properly. So if it works properly for me, it's going to work properly for all you guys when you guys get it. I have not put it in this tutorial yet because, as far as I know, when we actually we can now check. Let's see here. Oh, that's the new update. Yeah. Braincloud Blox. Let's see if it's available yet. No, it is not available yet. Okay. At some point, Braincloud Blox should be available to download, like I was mentioning at the beginning of the tutorial. But until then, you guys are going to be using this one, so I'm going to follow the tutorial using the one for the people that had the previous version. I believe that if you did not own the previous version of Photon Blox and you just bought it at 1.3.0, I'm sorry to say I don't think you're going to have a Braincloud Blox at all, which is actually going to make this really impossible for you until you actually get the Braincloud Blox when it's approved and uploaded to the asset store. I'm gonna message the creator of Photon Blox actually right after this tutorial to continue with that and make sure that it gets done. Else maybe I could offer to give you the outdated version for free. I understand that I can't give you the updated version because it's going to be $5 to owners of Photon Blox and $10 if you're not an owner of Photon Blox, or something around that. So I would understand that I might be able to give you this outdated version, but it still works with no problems over the new version that comes with all the new features. So yeah, I said that like twice in 2 different forms, but you understand now. Let's continue on with the tutorial. I would show you that that actually works, but I don't necessarily need to in any case because it will work. But now that there's 2 attributes in this window, when we go to load up the game, when we log in, it'll show the attributes health and attack here now. Cha-ching. So the initial value of 50 and attack 1. Normally I set these at 0, so when you first log in, all your values are generally 0 except for your rank. And yeah. So we can basically log in. If we added a little button or something, we would be able to what do you call it? Update our attack or something. So let's see here. We're level 1 out of 50. Our health is 5 out of 5. So it should auto save at some point here. Let me check it out. Oh, did I not put the auto save in the right scene? Oh, it's in the don't destroy unload. Perfect. 86 seconds. Here, let's speed that up actually. Let's put 5 seconds. It should now tell us that we saved. Character attribute could not be found on the actor. Okay, that makes sense. Deck could not be found on the actor, and experience could not be found on the actor. What? Did I not add any of those to the actor? Oh, that's why. I abbreviated that shit. Oh, wow, so sorry for my language, guys. Don't abbreviate this. It's gotta be health and experience. And then we're gonna add attack. This way, some of those errors go away. Some of those other errors are because they don't exist. So basically, I'm gonna go through the autosave and delete in a second a few of those that aren't needed. All we want is the health, experience, and attack. Let's go to my class here. Health, experience, attack. All right. So we have attack here. Let's put health. Jesus. When your keyboard's too far to the left. Alright, and health one more time. I believe that's all of it, and then we don't need to trigger range. Get rid of that else. We won't be triggering magic either. and for this demo / download purpose, you won't need to do defense either. These two errors are still going to cast up because I didn't add to the leaderboard. So let's go to leaderboards here. Let's add player underscore kills. Is that how I spelled it? Yep, and boss underscore kills. High value, rotation type, never, save and close. And then boss kills. I totally did not spell that right. There we go. Now those errors will be gone as well. There we go. Yeah, we gotta go to do this in the logout too. Jesus. Here, actually, since I'm not using a logout button right now, I will do this off screen for you guys just to save time. Let's just go like this. Log in, and we'll commit a save. That'll actually work this time. Auto save. Let's switch this bad boy to 5 seconds. Oh yeah, I don't have the attributes for it. That's why. Okay, but that's okay. That's okay. So I need to get attributes, player kills, and boss kills. That also makes. But now once I log in, because I have 5 health, the minimum was 1, and the it says 55. How's attack level 6? Did I really make my attack level 6? Jesus. Yeah, so my attack is 5. Alright, so just like I was saying in my first idea over here, these initial values should be 0. You'll see in a second. Well, you just seen the first reason why I just said this, because they added the 1 to the initial value, but we need to add a 0 to the new value. Oh, whoops. Now then, since it's got that one save that, you know, it's obviously not right, it doesn't look right there, so we'll just skip right past it. Alright, here, 5 seconds. Banging. Alright. So now when we look at our skills that show up here, health is 5 and attack is 5. If we go in and save again and then log back out, it'll do that. I guess I obviously don't have my position saving. No, it is. Well, ain't that interesting. Ah, wait, I think I know why. I think I know why. Sam. Makes sense. Makes sense. Using the nav mesh has a few issues, but we'll address that later. Like I mentioned, like the first set of few issues that I was mentioning with the NPCs. It's nothing like major, but it is kind of annoying. Just a little. I don't know how long this video has been, but basically everything that I've wanted to do is working. So at this point we're doing the last autosave check. I'm gonna log out and it's still gonna say 5.5 because those are the initial values that attributes start at when you first add the attribute. See, 5.5. In the next tutorial we will work on getting the position to save properly and everything else that's pretty much designed for the game, because right now there's like nothing. You and your friend can like walk around, but if you started coding the game like you normally would with Plygame, you're gonna receive a lot of errors because the character you have here versus the character he sees, yeah, it looks the same and it's doing everything the same, but they're actually two different characters in perspective. They're just linked together in through the network, more or less. So you have to make sure you do your network calls properly as well. So we'll definitely get into that soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.